everybody. Welcome to the channel of Cafe of Knowledge. Thank you for tuning in this week. I'm glad that we was able to come together last week. This week we are going to continue the Beginner's Guide of Inventory, and we on level 1, week 1. Okay, and level 1, week 1, that was last week. We did last week. We went over the inventory, and we'll recap that today as well. But now today, this is our second week. And now we on level 2, week 2. Okay? I just want to tell everybody to get your paper and your pens and everything that we talked about, how you do your charts. From continuation of last week, always make sure that you have your pencils and your papers and you're ready to go. Okay, so this is chapter 1 is inventory. We on level 2, week 2. Okay, because last week when we did our inventory, that was week 1. This week we are week 2. Okay, and I hope everybody reviewed and studied the sheets from last week so that you have a good understanding of how inventory goes and how we went through the process step by step and counting everything on the inventory as well. So I hope everybody did review that so you'll have a better understanding this week. If you didn't understand it, put your comments and everything, and I will be sure to answer any questions that you may have. So let's quickly review last week, level 1, week 1, last week's paperwork. Okay, so you remember last week you was running the store and we ordered 10 of everything. We ordered 10 of everything in your store. Remember, you wanted to start a store and we wanted to order 8 items, but you was going to have 10 of each of those items. Okay, so what we did was we called the truck order in to start us off. And you remember the vendor is the person that you buy your items and products from. So we called the vendor, remember, and then we ordered 10 milks, 10 bleach, 10 sweet potatoes, and we went so on, okay? And then we did our inventory. And then we did our inventory count. We pretended like we had been operating at your store for about a week. And then we decided to count your store. And remember when we counted your store in week 1, we had our inventory count sheets. And you remember when we counted inventory, when the truck came, if you can see, remember when the truck came, this side is accounts receivable. This side was when we counted inventory. When the truck came, remember we put in everything that came off the truck on each sheet. Milk is the dairy sheet. The sugar is the food sheet. Remember we did that. The ground beef was the meat sheet. We did all of that. Okay, remember when we counted inventory, it came out to when we ordered milk, we had 5 left in inventory when we did milk, and then we kept going, so on and so on. Okay, so at the end of our inventory, let me show you this. At the end of our inventory, remember this is the dairy sheet, and we have 8 sheets because we have 8 items in our store. So when we finished our inventory, it told us how much we had left in the store after we counted, which we had 5 milks in the store. So that means we sold 5 because we started off with 10 milks from the beginning. Remember, just to get your store up and running, we had 10 of everything. When we went to count inventory, we ended up with 5. We have 5 left in the store. So that means we sold 5. And that means our dollar amount sold right there was $20. Why is that $20? Because each milk costs $4. And we sold 5. So that makes $20. So you see right here it says need to order. We need to order 5 because we sold 5. The par levels, we talked about that last week. Your par levels is what you need to have each week. At the beginning of each week, you need to have 10 milks at the beginning of each week. So when we finished inventory last week, we only had 5. So now we on week 2. Okay? And so we have to order those 5 milks to get our stock back up of milk of 10. Okay? So now that's what we did last week. So that was reviewing the sheets that we did last week. Okay? So at the end of last week's count, it told us what we needed for each item. And at the end of that count, it told us that we needed 5 milks, of course. So we know we have to order 5 milks. Then it told us that we only had 2 sweet potatoes left in the store. So then we have to order 8. Because we only have 2 left, and you know we started with 10. Then it told us sugar. When we counted sugar, we didn't have any more sugar. It was at 0. So we're going to order 15 instead of 10. And let me tell you why. When we did inventory last week and we went around your store and we counted, when we went to the sugar area, we didn't have any more sugar. So that means we sold all 10 of our sugars. So what we're going to do is boost it up to 15 sugars in our store. Because you always have to think like this. If I have 0 left in my store, that could mean that if I had a little bit more, I could have sold a little bit more. But because I only had 10 and all of my customers bought all 10, now I don't have any more. So if somebody had been coming in looking for sugar, I don't have any on the shelf. So if I start ordering a little bit more sugar, then maybe I have a little bit more to sell to my customers, and when my customers come to my store, I won't be out of sugar. So that's why when you count your inventory and you go to that product to count it and you have no more of that product, then maybe then it's time to move your par level up. Remember, your par level means I need that amount to keep my store operating smoothly. So if you're running out, if you ran out of that product, then your store can't run smoothly because you don't have anything to sell. So what we're going to do, now that we know that people in your area that's coming in your store love to buy sugar, evidently, because all 10 of your sugars was gone. So now we're going to boost it up and say, okay, from now on, we're going to start ordering 15 sugars a week instead of 10. Because we want to have more for people. If they come in, we won't have 0. We won't be out. Okay? So, we're going to order 15 sugars this week in week 2. Because we ran out. When we counted inventory last week, we had 0 sugars in your store. And we're going to boost it from 10 to 15. That way, we're going to kind of be sure that we have enough. Now, when we count next week in week 3, if we have 0 again, then that means we need to move the number from 15 to about 20. Because we want to make sure that we keep moving it up, moving it up, moving it up until you don't run out by the time you count inventory again. Okay? So, we're going to order 15 sugars this week. And then we're going to order 7 ground beefs because you only had 3 left in your store. And then we're going to order 4 body wash, because you know we had 6. If you're looking at your sheets from last week, you would be able to follow me now and you'll know what I'm talking about. So you'll just go to each one of your sheets as I call it out, and you will see it on there, how many we sold, how many we need to order. Okay, so bleach, you're going to go to your chemical sheet from last week, week 1, and you'll see on that chemical sheet that we only have 3 left in the store. So then that means we have to order 7, because you remember we stayed at 10 at all times. Purse, when we counted the purses, we only had 1, so we have to order 9. Then dog food, when we counted our inventory, we only had 3 bags of dog food left. So that means we have to order 7 from the truck, because we got to keep all our products number at 10, except for sugar, because we're going to boost that up because you ran out of sugar last week. So we're going to move sugar from 10 to 15. Okay, so that's how we going to do that, and that's how you know what to order from the truck people. Okay, so you order from the truck people on your sheets from last week. Each one of your sheets, your produce sheet for milk, your produce sheet, your produce sheet from sweet potatoes, your dairy sheet from milk, your meat sheet for ground beef. You see all those sheets from last week. It tells you what you need to order, and that's 5 milks, 8 sweet potatoes, 15 sugars, 7 ground beef, 4 body wash, 7 bleach, 9 purses, and 7 dog food. So then what we're going to do now is you're going to get on the phone now, because you see what you need to order. And you're going to get on the phone, and now you're going to make that order. And you remember we said you call your vendor, and your vendor is NJ Foods, which is me. And then you pick up the phone and you call me, and then you remember you have to give the item number as well. Sometimes you have to say the item number of what you want. So you'll call in now, so we'll call in the vendor. You call in the vendor. The vendor answers the phone. You said, hey, I need milk, UPC number. You know what the UPC number is, what we talked about last week. That is the number that identifies that item. Okay? So you will say, I need milk, UPC number 018, and you're going to say, I need 5. Then you're going to say, I need sweet potatoes, UPC number 012, and I need 8. Then you're going to say, I need sugar, UPC number 001, I need 15, because we ordered 15 this time. Then you're going to tell them, I need ground beef, UPC number is 214, and I need 7. Then you're going to say, I need body wash, UPC number 251, and I need 4. Then you're going to tell them, I need bleach, UPC number 101, I need 7. Then you're going to tell them, I need purse, UPC number is 111, and I need 9. Then you're going to say, I need dog food, UPC number is 112, and I need 7. And then they will tell you, the vendor, which is me, say, okay, I got it. I have it delivered there pretty soon. And you say, okay, and then you hang up, and that's it. Okay, so now we have ordered our truck for week 2, so we can run our business in week 2. Okay, so we have made our truck order, and how we made our truck order is from week 1's inventory last week, that we seen what the sheet said we needed to order after we counted inventory, and that is what we ordered this week. Okay, and this is week 2. So that's after we ordered that stuff, right? Now we're gonna say that it's about 4 hours later. Okay, so you made your truck order 4 hours ago. Okay, and you made your truck order 4 hours ago, and then the truck comes, and the truck knocks on the back door of your business, and he got your product ready to give to you. Okay, then you go to the back door, you greet the truck driver, and then he's gonna hand you your inventory sheet. Right, he's gonna hand you your inventory sheet, and then he's gonna say, here's your order. And then you're gonna look at everything that truck driver bought you to make sure it's correct. Remember, we said that always check your stuff, and you want to check to see if anything been damaged or if anything is missing, because you ordered 5 milks. If he only bring you 4, you have to scratch that 5 out, put 4, and you have to adjust the price of that invoice. And you have to adjust the price, and when you adjust that price, that truck driver put their initials, you put your initials, and then you sign. Okay? But he has everything for you. It's nothing damaged. It's nothing missing. So then he's going to hand you your invoice, and that's your bill. Remember, we said an invoice is really a bill. So he has just bought you your 5 milks, your 8 sweet potatoes. He's bought you your 15 sugars. He bought you your 7 ground beefs. He bought you your 4 body wash. He bought you your 7 bleach. He bought you your 9 purse, and he bought you the 7 dog foods. And everything is there. Nothing is damaged. Nothing is missing. So he's all good. And then that's when you would get that bill, and then you would sign it. And this is how an invoice, which we talked about last week, how your invoice should look. And if it's anyone that's joining us this week and didn't join us last week, it would be very, very helpful if you go back and you look at week 1, level 1 video for last week, then start with this video, because you might be a little bit lost if you just start with this video and don't know about last week's video. Okay, because everything goes by step by step by step, and every week connects with the last week. So if you was missing last week, you're going to have to look at last week and then look at this week, so you don't be lost and you get a clear understanding, because we want everybody to have a clear understanding. I don't want to lose anybody, okay? Because that's the purpose of this. I want to help everybody, and I want you to be able to follow and understand. And if you don't understand, write it in the comment, any questions, and I will answer those questions in your comments. Okay, so now the truck has arrived. You have your inventory, you have your invoice, and then you take your invoice, and then remember how we have our sheets. We have a produce sheet, we have our dairy sheets, we have all of it. Now, when that truck gives you that invoice, you have to then break out your 8 sheets, because remember, you have your 8 items: your dairy, your produce, your meat department, you know, your accessories, your HBA, and all those departments. So you should have 8 sheets every week when we do this. And so you're going to take your invoice that truck gave you, and then you're going to record everything on your accounts receivable, which is on this side. You remember we talked about accounts receivable. Okay? Accounts receivable is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 columns. The first 6 columns is called accounts receivable. The other side is for inventory. And we ain't count inventory yet, so we ain't going to worry about that. So what you're going to do is take your invoice, and you're going to put everything that truck bought you, you're going to put it on accounts receivable. Okay? because accounts receivable means that you are recording everything that any vendor brings to your store. So at the end of the month, we can pay that vendor. That's called accounts receivable. Okay? So now on that sheet, you're going to put milk on the first row on your dairy sheet. You're going to put milk. And then you're going to put the UPC number. See there? You're going to put the UPC number. And then you're going to put the description, which is a gallon. Then for your wholesale price, that's the price you paid for the milk from that vendor, is $2. Then it says each, he bought us 5. Then it says total price is $10. Because each milk costs $2, they bought us 5. So that's $10 total price that you'll be spending on milk. And then you just keep going to your next sheet, which is produce. And that's sweet potatoes. Okay? And then you're going to put the UPC number. Then you're going to put the description is 10-pound bags. Then you're going to put the wholesale price, which is $1. And you remember, they bought us 8. It says each. They bought us 8. The total price is $8. Okay? So, you're going to go through each sheet like that. Produce sheet. Then you're going to do your meat sheet. And then you're going to do all the other sheets like that. Okay? And then you can pause this, just to get your sheets filled out for this week. But I'm not going to pause it. I'm going to continue going. And then, you could just, when you get to this point, you can pause it. And then you can fill in your produce sheet. Then fill in your food sheet. And fill in your HBA sheet. And you fill in your pet sheet. Because you got to fill that accounts receivable side of everything that is on the invoice. Okay? So once you have filled all 8 of your sheets in, and you put everything the truck brought to your store, then you will be ready to start. Okay? So, you take that time, fill in your sheets and everything. Once you fill in your sheets on accounts receivable, then you need a file that every time you get an invoice, you gonna put the invoice into a file, and you name the file invoice. Okay? And then you're gonna put September, whatever month you're in, we're gonna say September. You're gonna put September 2020 accounts receivable file. And every time a vendor brings you something and you finish it, when they bring you something and you take that invoice and you put it on your accounts receivable, after you put everything on your accounts receivables on each item that you got, then you would take the bill and you're going to put it in a file that's called accounts receivable. That month you're in, September 2020, and then you're just going to put it in the file and leave it like that. And every invoice you get, it don't matter what invoice comes through your door for that week, and you're going to put week 2, because this is a week 2 order. You remember week 1 order is when we ordered 10 of everything. This week order was, we ordered 5 milks and like that. So that first invoice needs to go inside of September's file 2020 called invoice, but you need to have week 1 on the top of that invoice of last week. Now this invoice for this week, you're going to have week 2. Okay? You're going to have, because we are in week 2 now. This is our second week of doing it, and your invoice should have week 2 invoice. So then you're going to put week 2 in that same file, because it's still September. This is the second week of September. Let's just say that. It's the second week of September. So then you put your invoice in there. So then now in your file, you have a week 1 invoice and you have a week 2 invoice. Okay? So those files have, so anything if anybody comes to your store and drop off anything for the month of September, it's going to go in September 2025 invoice file. Okay, that file should say invoice. So you're going to drop it in there. Okay, so we did that. So now, once we have done that, and you have put everything that truck driver gave you on your accounts receivables. So now that you have put everything on your accounts receivables for week 2, then you will be ready to start counting your inventory again. Okay? Because you got everything on your account receivable sheet that tells you what you ordered, how much you ordered, and everything. Okay? So now, let's make an inventory count sheet. Okay? An inventory count sheet. That's what we're going to do. We're going to make an inventory count sheet. And this is what an inventory count sheet looks like. We didn't have one of these sheets last week because we had just started your store. We had just opened your business. You know, just brand new business. You just started. So you didn't have to have this sheet for your first week of business. Okay? Everything else you had to have that we did last week. But now you have to add one more sheet to your inventory. And that's called an inventory sheet. And this is what it looks like. The inventory sheet looks like this. Okay? That's what the inventory sheet looks like. So you're going to have inventory sheet at the top. And then you see it says product name. You're going to have the product name. And then you're going to put everything that you sell in your store. Milk, sweet potato, sugar, ground beef, body wash, bleach, purse, dog food. Okay? Then your next column is on hand. On hand is always going to be what you had left in your store last week after you counted inventory. So remember, when we counted your inventory last week and you counted, you only had five milks in your store, you're going to put 5 in the on hand spot. Okay? Then the next column, you see where it says order received, you're going to put how many milks that truck driver just delivered to you, which was 5. Okay? Then it say total on hand. That's the total of your on hand and the total of your order received. That'll be, you had 5 left in your store. You ordered 5. So your total on hand will be 10. We back at 10 again. Because remember, we had 5 left in the store. That's your on hand. We ordered 5 from the truck driver. So that means in total, we got 10. Okay? Now, everything, your on hand count for your following week is the ending count you did last week. So, don't get confused on me. Hold on. Last week, remember when we did our inventory count, it said we only had 5 milks left in the store. We had 10, we sold 5, and then we got 5 left in the store. Okay? So, when we have 5 left in the store, we have 5 milks in our store after our inventory count. So, our ending count, your ending count for inventory was 5. Because when you went around and you counted your ending count, we went to the milk department, it said we counted and you only had 5 milks left. So that we put 5 on ending count. That's when we doing inventory. Your ending count, all of your ending count is your on hand count for the next week, because that's what you have in your store on hand that week. We had 5 in our ending count, And then in week 2, in our paperwork, we started at 5. Started at 5 is really your on hand. It's what you started with. What you ended with last week is what you start with this week. Okay? Repeat. What you ended with last week, the count you ended with last week, is your beginning count for this week. So your ending count for last week on milk was 5. So 5 will be your on-hand count for this week. Okay? And I'm going to show you how we do that. Okay? So that's how your inventory sheet should look. So you should have on that inventory count sheet, you should have 8 rows. And you're going to have your product in one row, on hand on the next row, order received the next row, total on hand the next row, ending count the next row, which we haven't counted this week yet, so we're not going to worry about that. We're just going to fill in those first 4, which is the product name. The on hand for milk was 5. Then it says order received. It was 5. And then total on hand will be 10. Okay? But you have to put ending count, total items sold, order needed, and your part level. Okay? So, but we're not going to do the ending count yet. We're just going to fill in from on hand to total on hand. Okay? Because we haven't counted inventory yet. Okay? Now, this is what it will look like. It will look like this once you fill in everything. Okay? Once you fill in everything, our on hand was our ending count from last week. So last week, we had 5 milks left. That was our ending count. You put 5 on milk. You put 2 on sweet potatoes. Remember when we counted sugar? We didn't have any more sugar last week. So that's 0 on hand. We didn't have any sugar to come over to this week. Ground beef, we had 3 left in the store. Body wash, we have 6. All this is your on hand. This was before the truck came and gave us our products. Okay, bleach, we had 3. Purse, we had 1. Dog food, we had 3. Now, you see the next spot, next row, it says order received. Remember, the truck just came and he dropped us off all our products that we ordered. So everything that he dropped us off, we're going to put in the order received spot. So, remember, he just delivered us 5 milks. You're going to put 5 milks up there. Okay? He just delivered us 8 sweet potatoes. You're going to put 8. 8 on the sweet potato roll. Remember, we was out of sugar, so he just dropped us off 15 sugars. So you're going to put 15 in that row. Then we ordered 7 ground beefs. 4. That order received is everything that was on your invoice that just came and we signed. Okay? Now, that total on hand, we got to add up. On hand, we got to add up what we had in the store. And then we got to add what the truck order bought us. So, we started off with 5. Right? And then the truck delivered us 5. And that total on hand is 10. Okay? Then sweet potato, he gave us 2. Well, we started off with 2. Then he bought us 8. So our total is 10. Okay? And the same thing for ground beef. We started with 3. The truck just gave us 7. Now we have 10. Okay? And then you're just going to fill that in. Then you have body wash. We had 6. The truck delivered us 4. So we back at 10. Bleach. We had 3. Our truck just came. They gave us 7. Now we have 10. So everything is back at 10 again. Okay? Purse, we had 1. We ordered 9. So our total on hand is 10 for purse. Dog food, remember we had 3. The truck gave us 7. Now we at 10. Okay? So that's how that goes. And that's how your inventory should look. Okay? That's how your inventory sheet should look. I'm going to let you look at it one more time. But that's how your inventory sheet should be filled out. Okay? That's how it should be filled out. Now that ending count and that total items sold and that orders needed and the part level, we ain't counted inventory yet for week 2, so those should be empty because I just filled it in right now. But that's what you do on the inventory count sheet for your on hand, order received, total on hand. Okay, because we haven't counted inventory yet for week 2. Okay, so now let's say that your order or your business have been operating for 2 weeks now. Okay? So now your business has been running for 2 weeks now. So now this is week 2. So now in week 2, everybody done start shopping. Everybody done start shopping. Your customers are coming in and they buying stuff all week and this week too, because we're in week 2 now. So now your customers are buying things and they happy. They run around the store and they buying stuff. Now it's at the end of week 2. So we're gonna act like we have been operating in business for a whole 2 weeks. And we have, but this is week 2. So now this week, everybody been shopping. Now we at the end of week 2. That's when we count inventory. You count inventory at the end of each week. Okay? At the end of each week. Remember we talked about that last week. Some businesses don't count their inventory each week. Some of them count them every 2 weeks. Some of them count them once a month. But we are going to count our inventory once a week because the majority of stores do count their inventory once a week. Like restaurants, fast food, places like that. They do count their inventory every week. Okay? So we're going to count your inventory every week. Okay? So now, usually when people count their inventory, like the restaurants and the fast foods and things like that, they're usually counted like on a Monday, because Monday sometimes is the slowest day for restaurants and stuff like that. They don't do inventory on fast days, a lot of business coming in the door. They don't do their inventory on those days. Most of the time inventory is done on a Monday. You might catch a store do it on a Sunday, but most stores do their inventory on Monday, either before that store open or either after that store closes. When you want to do inventory when there's nothing up, no business is coming through your door, because you need for every item to be still. You don't need nobody to be grabbing items while you counting it. You don't need customers coming in and grabbing bleach while you counting bleach, because you be putting 5 down, like you see 5, and then before you can write 5 down, somebody done came and grabbed one. Now you only got 4, then you got to erase that and put 4. No, that's why it's good to count inventory. Businesses always count inventory most of the time when the business is closed, either before the business open or after the business closed. Okay? So now, your inventory, we count every Monday. Okay? Every Monday. So every week when we tune in, it be, even if it ain't Monday, we act like it's Monday, because that's when we gonna basically be doing counts on each level. Okay? And then the levels will get a little bit more, and then a lot of the counts we won't have to too much worry about counting inventory anymore, because you already have the hang of counting inventory. Okay, that's when we'll move to a whole nother level, whole nother chapter. Okay, so now your store has been, it's week 2, and you have been doing business all through week 2. Okay, now it's at the end of week 2, and it's time for you to count your inventory. Okay, so it's time for you to count your inventory. That's when you're going to grab your sheet, your inventory sheets. You know, your 8 sheets. Okay, you're going to do your 8 sheets. You already know your milk, your sweet potatoes, ground beef, all that good stuff, you know. So now let's go around your store and we are going to count inventory. Okay? So we're going to use the sheet, your inventory count sheet that we have. So you're going to go around and you're going to say, okay, get my sheet together, which is like this. You're going to get your inventory count sheet together. And then you're going to go around, and then where it says ending count, that's where you're going to put everything that you count in your store. The number is going to go in that ending count. So for milk, we're going to go count. And let's say we counted your store on milk, and you only had 0 left in milk. So you're going to put 0 down in ending count. So take a shot of that. You can pause, and then you can write it the way it's supposed to go, if you can see it. Okay, now that you got a screenshot of how that look, then I'm going to tell you what you have, and you're going to put it in the ending count. Okay, so for milk, you counted it and you only have 0. It's no more milk in your store. So you're going to put 0 in the ending count section. Okay, and then you went to the sweet potatoes in the produce department. Your next sheet, produce sheet. You counted your sweet potatoes and you only have 4 left. So you're going to put 4 in your ending count. Okay? Then sugar. We counted your sugar and you only have 3 sugars left in your store. So you're going to put 3 in the ending count of sugar. Ground beef. We counted your ground beef. You only have 5 left. So you're going to put 5 in your ending count, because that's what you have. Okay, so we went over there to your HBA department with the body wash. You counted the body wash. You only had 2. So you're going to put 2 in your ending count on the body wash line. Okay? Then we went to the chemical area in your store. That's with the bleach. We counted your bleach. You only have 2 left. So you're going to put 2 in your ending count sheet. Okay? And your ending count row next to your bleach. Then we went over to accessories, your accessory sheet. And then for your purse, we counted your purse. You only have 3 left. So you're going to put 3 in end count. Then we went over to the pet department. For dog food, we counted it. You only have 1 dog food left in your store. So you're going to put 1 in the ending count. Okay? So that's all 8 of the items that you sell in your store. So your inventory sheet should look like this for ending count, because we just counted everything in your store. Okay? And hold on one second. We just counted everything in your store. Okay? And so That's your ending count. Okay? So, you see the ending count on your inventory sheet? Your ending count says milk, 0. You have no more left in your store. Sweet potatoes, you have 4 left in your store on ending count. We on ending count. You have 4 left in your store. Sugar, you have 3 left in your store. Ground beef, you have 5 left in your store. Body wash, we counted 2. Bleach, we counted 2. Purse, we counted 3. Dog food, we counted 1. Okay? So that's how you will be filling in your ending count. That's your ending count, because we just went around the store and we counted your store, and your ending count is in the ending count row. Okay? Now you see the next one? It says total items sold. What's the total items sold? You see the total on hand, it says, remember we started off with 10 of everything except for sugar. You see sugar have 15. Right here on this total on hand. That means, remember when the truck gave what we started with last week, on hand, the order we received from the truck, the total on hand was 10. So now we did our count. For milk, we had 0 left in the store, so that means you sold 10. Okay? Take a screenshot of that or freeze it, and so you can get those numbers right. So then as I go down, then you see for sweet potatoes, it says total items sold. Total items sold for sweet potatoes is 6, because you started off with 10. When we counted, you only have 4 left. So that means you sold 6. That's the total items sold. Then sugar, remember you had 15. Then when we just counted your store, you only have 3 left. So that means total items sold was 12. And then you see next to it, it says order needed. That means you need to order 12. Okay? And then you see for milk at top, it says ending count was 0. So that means you sold all 10 of your milks. So what do we say? If you sell all of your product, then that means you need to boost it up. So it says order needed, we put 15, because you sold out all 10 of your milks. Okay? And so that means you need to boost that milk up to 15 the same way we boost the sugar up. Okay? Then it says ground beef. You ended ground beef with 5. So that means you sold 5. And that means you need to order 5. Okay? Then you go down to body wash. Your ending count was 2. You sold 8. So you need to order 8. Bleach. When we counted it, you only had 3 left. That means you sold, no, in bleach, I'm sorry. Bleach, you only have 2 left. So that means you sold 8. And you need to order 8. Then the purse, you ended with 3. We counted and you only had 3 left in your store. That means you sold 7. So we need to order 7. Okay? And then dog food, you only had 1 left. 1 bag of dog food left in your store when we just counted. So that means you sold 9. And you need to order 9. Okay? So then you will see on this sheet, everything in the need order is what you're going to have to pick up the phone once again. It says order needed. You're going to have to pick up the phone once again, and you're going to have to order everything that this sheet says order needed. Okay? And then our par level is over here. I got a question mark on the row of milk. You see the par level? It has 10. But I put a question mark there. Why would I put a question mark by par level? because we sold out of milk, and we normally par level of milk is 10 because that's what we started the store off with. But remember what I told you, when we sell out of things, we boost that par level number up. So we are going to move it to 15 par level the same way we did sugar. Okay? So that's how that go. Study that, freeze it, zoom in on it, or however. But we just finished counting inventory. We know how much stuff we sold, and we know what we need to order for week 2. Okay? So now what you're going to do is you're going to get on that phone. Because usually when people count their inventory, and now that we have counted and we know what we have left in the store, and we know what we sold, and we know what we need to order, then you need to just go ahead on and pick up the phone, and you need to order those items. Okay? So we have finished counting inventory for your store. We done did the paperwork on it. We done went in there and we done counted it. We know what was sold. We know what you need to order. We're gonna pick up that phone, and then you're gonna call that NJ vendor people, and you're gonna make your order, and you're gonna say, hi, this is someone, whatever your name is, this is such and such. Now I want to put in an order. And then that's when you're going to do your order again, because now you know you finish your inventory count for week 2, and you know what you need to get in your store for before week 3 starts. Okay? So it tells you. So then you're going to call them and you say, I need milk. And then I need UPC number 018. And I need 15, because we ordered 15 this time, because you ran out of milk last week, and we do not want to run out of product in the store. So we boost the number from 10 to 15. So now you ordering 15 milks. So you would say milk, UPC number 018, and I want 15 of them. Okay? Then you would say, I want sweet potatoes, and then you're going to give them the UPC code 012, and then you're going to say, I need 6. Okay? And then you're going to go down the line and call in your order until you get all the way down to dog food, give them the UPC number, and tell them you need 9 dog foods, because that's what it says you need to order. Okay? So now you have put in your truck order so that it will be here by week 3 when we start doing week 3 inventory. Okay? So now you have hung up the phone. You have put in your truck order for week 3. Okay? So you're done with that. Now what you're going to do is that same inventory sheet, you're going to transfer that inventory sheet over on your 8 sheets. Your dairy sheet, your produce sheet, your meat sheet, your HBA sheet, okay, your pet sheet. You're going to record everything from your inventory sheet that we just did, okay, the inventory sheet that we just did. You're going to take that sheet and you're going to transfer it over onto your inventory sheet that has accounts receivable attached to it. Okay? So you remember your on hand was 10. Remember, it's 10. Your retail price is $4. That's what you sell it for. Your ending count for milk was 0. Remember? And then your total sold was 10. And your dollar amount sold was $40. And need order 15. And your par level has moved to 15. Okay? So that's how that goes. Can you see it? So that's filling in the milk dairy sheet. and you're filling in the inventory on this side, you can use your inventory count sheet to fill in your dairy accounts receivable and inventory sheet. Okay? Then you would just go to your produce sheet and you will fill in your produce sheet. Okay? You will go and you'll go to the inventory side and your on hand total, it was 10 you started off with. It tells you the retail price that you sells that for, which is $5. Your ending count, remember when we counted sweet potatoes, we ended up with 4. We counted 4 in your store. That means you sold 6. Dollar amount sold is $30. And it says, and the need order is 6. If you sold 6, you need to order 6. You sold 5, you need to order 5. Okay? If you sold 10, you need to order 10 or boost your inventory up. But that's how that goes. So now you're going to fill in each sheet. I'm going to show you one more sheet so you'll know how to do it. Do one more. This is going to be the 4th one. You're going to transfer the inventory count sheet over to your food sheet, produce sheet, pet sheet. This one is the sugar sheet, the food sheet. You're going to go to the inventory side. Your on hand of sugar was 15. Retail price was $3. Ending count, remember when we went around your store and counted, we ended with 3 sugars. We only had 3 sugars left in your store. So that means we sold 12. And then your dollar amount sold is $36. And you need to order 12. And that's the par level is 15. And you see where I got that Y up under the 15? Why do we order 15 sugars now? Because last week we ran out of sugar and we don't want to run out of sugar anymore. So we boost the count from 10 to 15. Then that was last week we ran out of sugar. This week you ran out of milk. Remember? So we boost the par level from milk from 10 to 15 because we don't want to run out of milk. And we hope that 15 will last to where we don't run out. Because if you run out of milk for week 3 when we count next week, or week 3 when we do our count, if we go around your store and count your store and you at 0 milk again, that means we're going to have to move your par level from 15 to what? About 20. Okay? Correct. We'll have to move it up, you know. So, but you keep moving it up until when you count, you have something in your store, you're not at 0. Okay? So that's how that goes. So you're going to fill out all your sheets. And you're going to go to the milk sheet. I'm going to show y'all one more because something telling me somebody might be having a little trouble and might need for me to show them one more sheet. I just had that feeling. Might not. But, you know, hopefully everybody understand. But then it's, you know, something's just telling me to go over one more sheet. So we're going to go over one more sheet. You're going to take your inventory count sheet. Okay? And you're going to transfer. Now we're going to do it for meat. And put it on your meat. That's the ground beef. Okay? That's the ground beef. And then, you remember your on hand? You started your ground beef at 10. Your retail price is $7. $7 is what you sell it as. You bought them for $3, but you selling them for $7. Okay? When we counted your store, we ended with 5. You only have 5 left hamburger meats in your store. So the total sold is 5. Because you started with 10. You started with 10. And when we counted, you only have 5 left, so that means you sold 5. The dollar amount sold is $35. And what do you need to order? 5. You need to order 5. Because you sold 5, so then that means you need to order 5. Okay? So that's how that go on there. And now you just fill out the rest of your sheets. You'll fill out your HBA sheet, and you'll fill out your pet sheet, and then you'll fill out your chemical sheet, which is bleach, and then you will be done counting inventory for week 2. Okay? So for week 2, the truck came in, he bought your stuff, we recorded the truck that came into your store on accounts receivables, right? We recorded what came in off the truck on accounts receivables. Then after we put everything on account receivables, we waited about a week. Imagine it that we was running the store for a week. Now it was time for you to count inventory. And we put our on-hand count down there. And what we sell it for. Then we started counting. And then that's when our ending count was 3 for sugar. Because this is a sugar sheet. And then that means we sold 12 at a dollar amount of 36. And it tell us that we needs to order 12 sugars. Okay? And that's exactly what we did. We ordered 12 sugars. Okay? We already did that when we got on the phone, and we ordered it. So that's done. And in week 3, the truck will come and give us what we ordered this week. Okay? So that's week 2. And you have done inventory for week 2. So see, that's not that bad. But if you just stop and review and study it and go over it, review it and everything, it's fairly pretty easy. And like I said, if you have any questions or any thing that you can't quite understand or anything, well, what about this or what about that, feel free to put it in the comment, or you can email us at cafeof88@gmail.com. Okay? You can put it, I know I'll be looking at comments, and I will also be looking at the emails as well. Okay? So that is what we have done for week 2. So week 1, we did the inventory. Week 2, we also did inventory. I explained everything that you needed to know about counting and getting prepared and getting the hang of counting your inventory. Okay? So the next video, this is week 2, and we have completed week 2. We completed week 1. We completed week 2. But remember now, you have to keep all your inventory sheets. So you remember in week 1, when we did all our paperwork for week 1, you also want to make a file. You remember I told y'all to make a file for your invoice for September. And one of the invoices going to have week 2, another invoice going to have week 1. That's going to be in that file. An invoice file, and every time somebody delivers to you, which is a bill, you're going to put that, and it's the month of September, we're going to say, and then you're going to put that in a file that's called Invoice September 2020, and you're going to put your invoice in that. That's how you do inside of a business as well. Then you're going to have another little file that says Inventory September 2020. So week 1's paperwork that we did need to go in the inventory file September 2020. Okay? And then week 2, when we finish that, because we'll need week 2 sheets for week to go into week 3, and then after we finish with it, then we'll take week 2 and put it in the inventory file September 2020. Okay, so you're going to need 2 files. One for your invoices to drop in, and then one for your inventory paperwork for each week to drop in. Okay, for that month, for September. Okay, now then when we move into October, everything that we do in October, you're going to drop it in the October file. Okay, that way you can keep track of what you did in September, what you did in October, what you did in November. That's the purpose of keeping your files, because then you'll know what you did in September, what you did, how good you did, how bad you did, how well the store did, all that. You will know all that by keeping your files up to date. Everything in September goes in September. The invoices for September, and then in October you do the same thing. November you do the same thing. So that's how that goes. So we have counted inventory for week 2, and you are done and now have completed week 2. And now the next video is going to be all about addressing your questions, and I can answer your questions and everything. So next week we would normally be doing week 3's work, but next week I'm going to just address all questions that you might have, and I'm going to answer all those questions that you might have. Next week I'm going to just be reviewing week 1 and week 2. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. We're not going to try to cram everything in. You know, we have done week 1 already. We have done week 2 already. We're going to review that next week. And so I would like, if any questions that you might have about week 1 and about week 2, please put them in the comments on this week right here. So next week I will be able to answer your questions, address your questions and everything. Okay, so please send me any answers that any questions that you might have, so I can answer them on this video right here. Any questions you want to know about week 1, week 2, put it down there so I can address it next week. Next week is just going to be a review week for you guys. Okay, I'm going to just review everything and answer questions and all that. Then the next week we'll start into week 3. Okay, and that's how we're going to do that. So I'm going to leave y'all with saying, make sure that you leave a comment down, any kind of questions you may have or anything you might think. But let me just tell y'all this. I had some people that was emailing me, and they were saying, oh, you doing all this for free, and you not, no. Let me tell you, I love to help people. I am not on this channel asking anyone, you know, like I was telling them, what I do for people, I like doing for people because I like helping people. I like helping people any way they can to better themselves, get a career, get promotions, put more money in their pocket, have more job opportunities and everything. I love to do this, and I don't ask for anything. I don't tell you guys, well, in order to tune into week 2, you have to send $29.99 to this link, and then I will tell you more about how to do this. No, that's not me. That's not me. I like to help people, and you get your blessings sometimes by helping others. Okay, so always remember that you get your blessings sometimes from helping others. I want to help everybody. That's my prerogative, and I'm going to do it, and I'm not charging nobody for it. This is knowledge that I have. This is something that I know how to do and execute and know how to do, and I've trained thousands of people, and I love training people. I love helping people. I love seeing people go to the next level. You just don't know how many people, thousands of people I have seen started off making minimum wages, and when we got through with my inventory courses with inventory budgeting finances, they went from minimum wage to now they're salary workers, and some of them are making 6 figures a year just because of what we're doing here today. So I want you to help someone else and share this video, like this video, subscribe, and if you know anybody that might have dropped out of school and don't know what they want to do yet, or they're looking for a promotion, or they want a promotion on their job, or if it's a homeless person and they asking you for $1 or $2, give them, if you want to, I'm not saying do it, but if you give them that $1, also give them a sheet of paper with Cafe of Knowledge, our YouTube channel, so that would help them not to become homeless. Maybe they can look at it and then it can help them. Okay? If you know anybody that's sitting on the couch all day and not doing anything, but they need to work or whatever, send them this video. Share this video to them. Tell them about it. Help somebody else. I dedicate to helping others, and I would like for my viewers to help others just by a simple share or a simple click like. That's all I ask. So just help. If you run into somebody that say, you know, I'm looking for a job and I want a job, or when they can't find one, or maybe they've been to college and got out of college and can't find a job in their field, tune them into this, so then this can help them, you know, have another job opportunity and learn something else, to where then they can get a job in this job field and their original job field. So like I said, just help someone. That's all I ask. I help others. I love to do it. I've been doing it for 30 years now. I love to help others, and I like to see others help other people. So all you have to do is help someone else, or share this with someone else who you might think can benefit or need this channel or this course that we doing in inventory. Okay, so don't forget, next week, nothing but answering questions for you guys. Load me up if you need to with different questions, and I will be sure to answer each and every one of them. And I'm going to give you a shout out. Shout out to such and such. This is your question. Then I'm going to answer that question. So that's what next week's video is going to be all about. Just answering your questions and addressing anything you want to know about week 1 and week 2. Okay? So until then, see you next week. And I'm looking forward to seeing and looking at all your questions so I can answer them. Y'all stay safe. Bye-bye.